Bonjour. Today we are learning the French sounds that give quite often problems to English native speakers here. During this lesson, I will pronounce the words by exaggerating a little bit the movements of the mouth here. I suggest you do the same until you are comfortable pronouncing the sound. So first, let's look at the letter E. There are two main sounds of the letter E. First, the E with accent aigu, so the accent going from top right to bottom left. Most of the time, it will be pronounced E. E. Examples: bébé, which means baby. Bébé. Donner, meaning given. Donner. Allé, meaning gone. Allé. Now the sounds of the letter E with accent grave, which is the accent going from top left to bottom right. Père, father. Père. Mère, mother. Mère. Bière, beer. Bière. Now you have to be a little careful because a few small words in French take the accent grave but are pronounced as if there was an accent aigu. For example, près, near. Très, very. Après, after. Now let's look at the sounds of the letter E with accent circonflexe, which is the accent that looks like a hat. Être, to be. Être. Même, even or same. Même. As you can hear, the pronunciation is the same as the E with an accent grave. Now let's look at the letter U. To pronounce a U, you need to bring your lips forward. Okay? So let's have a look. Lu, which is red. Lu. Pu, which is the past participle of pouvoir. Pu. Now let's look at the letters AI. The letters AI are pronounced A if there is no sound after it. So, for example, le lait, which is the milk. However, if there is a sound after the A, then instead of pronouncing A, you pronounce it like E. So, a bit more open, a little bit like the E with the accent grave. For example, naître, which is to be born. Faire, which is to do or to make. Now let's look at AU or EAU. The sound is always pronounced like an O. For example, beau, which is handsome. Beau. However, there is one word which is autre. As you can hear, I'm not saying autre, I'm saying autre. So the O is more open. Autre, meaning other. Now the letter AN or EN. So those letters are pronounced en. For example, manger, manger. Ensemble, ensemble, which is together. Now the letters IN or AIN or EIN are pronounced un, un. For example, bain, which is bath. Mince, which is thin. Plein, which is full. Now the letters on is always pronounced on. For example, bonbon, which is sweet. Bonbon. Rond, which is round. Rond. Now the letters UN. UN is pronounced un if it's on its own, meaning one, or the indefinite article relating to a noun at the masculine. The letter EU. The letter EU, if it's on its own, means had, which is the past participle of avoir. It is pronounced U. U, exactly like a U. If it's not on its own, it's pronounced E, like heureux, happy, heureux. Now this weird combination of an O with an E attached to it and a U, pronounced E. For example, cœur, meaning heart, sœur, meaning sister, and the letter OU, which is always OU. For example, toujours, which is always, fou, which is mad. Now let's look at the one letter that gives a lot of trouble to quite a few people, which is the French R. So in English, when you pronounce the R, as you can see, your tongue is actually going on top of your mouth, okay? So, for example, red, red. So you can see your tongue would be kind of close or touching your palate at the top of your mouth. In French, the R is pronounced a little bit as if you were spitting. Ch, ch, ch. Okay? So when you pronounce the R in French, you must keep your tongue stuck at the bottom of your mouth. Okay? For example, grand, which is tall. Grand, grand. Frère, frère, which is brother. Frère. So this is a little bit complicated, okay, but I can assure you that you will be able to pronounce it right if you practice loud. So when you watch TV or you watch a video on your computer, okay, I will just practice your French R, pick a word like the two that we have used, okay, or any other word, and just practice. And you'll see that in no time you'll be able to get it right and sound like a French person. On that note, I will see you at our next video. Until then, à bientôt. Au revoir.